Hi, welcome to Grandshelt Nights, a group of guys that talk about the addictive game Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, made by Square Enix and Gumi, as we have in-depth, in-depth breakdowns, explanations, overviews, opinions, reviews, as we pick apart the best and worst within the game and on what we expect from each player. I'm here with Kuja, Awesome,
Hello.
Hello.
and here with Zero also.
What's up?
This week, we've got Valkyrie Profile. We have the second week for Halloween. We got new Espers, more story, unit enhancements. We're going to go into depth on these. Let's start with Valkyrie Profile with Kuja and Awesome. They're going to talk about the 3-star base for this banner.
Alright, so the 3-star base on this banner is called Jalanda?
Yeah,
Jalanda?
Jalanda.
I don't know. There's not much to say here. It's a 3-star to 5-star base. The only thing you can look at really is a TM. The TM is not horrible. It's pretty good. And it's free. So, I mean, there's nothing really too much you can complain about. But that's it for pretty much Jalanda. I guess on to the 4-star base.
Yes, the 4-star.
Yeah. Lucian.
Yes.
Again, it's the same thing. He's a 4 to 6-star base. I mean, we're in the 7-star meta. Some 4-stars are useful, not this one so much. What you're really looking at here is his TM, which is also pretty good. It's a 40% attack, 20% when equipped with a 20% spirit when equipped with a sword. It's not as good as some past raid 4-star TMs like Orochi or what was the other one? Fidel on
Fidel, yeah. Mario Frigo
on the
has some
Star
good ones.
Ocean, or Mario Frigo on the Just Cause banner. Because it's, I mean, the really thing that makes it worse is the fact that you're stuck to a sword. But again, it's another 40% materia, so it's still pretty good.
It's good also for an Onion Knight, because remember, his
Yeah.
Super Trust Master is a boost for swords.
I mean, and again, Valkyrie profiles a raid, and you get the Moogles from the raid summon, so it's a free 40%.
Exactly.
Easiest Trust Master you'll get. I mean, just by doing the raid, you'll probably get at least 2, potentially 3 from the raid summon.
Okay, now let's talk about the 5 stars of the base of this banner. Let's start with the main character, Lenneth.
So Lenneth, I will start with the good. Her sprite is beautiful. It looks great. Compared to the PS1 game, I still prefer the PS1 game's look, but this one definitely is a very nice sprite. And so I've been using Lenneth on JP, or at least I did when she first came out, because I like the character, because I like the game. But there's not much you can say that's good about her, so I'm going to go into kind of a rant mode. One, she has two triple casts. And each triple cast has 2 different movesets. There's the archery moveset and the sword moveset. And the sword moveset, you have to pick 3 out of 5 skills, and the archery, it's 3 out of 6 skills. They locked the breaks between the 2 of them, so you cannot break all the stats in one turn. So she does have a 50% break to attack and defense, and then to defense and spirit. And on her bow, she has a break to magic and spirit. And then she has dark and light breaks at 60%. But other than that, she doesn't really have a purpose. She can't chain with anyone where she's at. She has some strong skills, but because you can't really do anything with them, they're lackluster. And because her TMR is a single-handed sword that's dark damage, and if you want...
Yeah.
No, the main issue is the skills set, because there's no chaining ability.
Yeah, no, what the problem with, and honestly, it's all of the Valkyrie Profile units, is they're using the gimmick from the game where you could use 3 moves, but you had to pick 3 different ones. So basically, long story short, it makes you hard to chain with other units or even yourself, because you can't pick, like, Hio, for example. You can dual cast his Servant of the Blade and use it both times. In Lenneth's case, you can't do that. You can't go and use her best move, which it looks like it's Glowing Pierce, and you can't cast it 3 times. You have to cast Glowing Pierce, Code Break, and her attack and defense debuff. And you'd be doing that every turn, and you're losing, essentially, with another unit. Dual casting or dual wielding better skills, basically.
One other issue I do agree with also for Lenneth is her skills being locked off to a bow and a sword.
Well,
Because-
no, the skills aren't literally locked off to bow and sword. You can use the bow skills with a sword and the sword skills with a bow. They just separated them because that's how
Right.
it is in the game.
Yeah, basically you can't cast her bow skills with her sword skills. You have to you use one or the other.
Yeah, that's what I was getting
And
at.
also, her Trust Mastery is not very strong. It's decent. It's a 135 attack sword with Dark Element. But when you come into her Super Trust Mastery, I would consider that a bad Super Trust Mastery. Mainly for the fact that we have in Global a unit, Ang, who's got a 145 attack bow with killers on it, which, in my opinion, is just better than her Super Trust Mastery. So,
And it's also a Trust Master, and you don't need 4 for it.
Well, also the biggest problem is the fact that she's locked between. She gets skills differently for having a sword and for having her TMR and her STMR on.
Yeah, and she can't utilize her STMR basically in 7-star because she would lose her trust ability.
Which reduces her best skill, which is her Limit Burst.
Yep.
And the biggest problem with her Limit Burst, I mean, it's really high damage. It's 20 times multiplier.
Mm-hmm.
But it's similar to how Squall and Cloud are, where it's a very long skill attack that doesn't chain with anything, and the last hit is the strongest hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, let's talk about the other banner unit.
So,
Freya.
Start with Freya.
Yeah, Freya.
Freya has an amazing TMR.
I will agree with you on that.
Her TMR is very, very good.
And
55 magic, 20% MP.
Yeah, it's a freebie.
That's the best 5-star TMR on the banner. Her STMR is also pretty good. It's a hat with 40 defense, 50 magic, 50 spirit, and HP plus 30%, and resistance to silence and petrified. So, all along, not amazing, but it's pretty good. It's not an STMR that I would shoot for, but if you are doing what a lot of people are doing on this banner and trying to get the other 5 stars STMR, which is extremely good, you might luck into someone else's STMR, and Freya's isn't a bad one.
One thing also, every unit here is the same with their triple cast. It's 3 abilities. You can't select all of them at the same one. But also, Freya is going to be also a good unit to have for those parameter missions that we will be getting later on in Global. One issue that holds her back, I believe, is that she cannot equip rods, so you're going to need to waste up 1 materia slot for equipping rods.
Well, there is a materia that allows you to equip rod, and I think it gives you 30% magic. I think we got it from a boss. I just don't remember exactly when it was.
Yeah, that's it.
Also, the biggest problem is she can't use a single element, so she's swapping elements. So even if she could finish with someone or chain with someone, she would have a different element each cast she has.
Yep, and that's where her fallback is. I mean, again, it's the same thing that's gonna happen with every single Valkyrie Profile unit. They have triple cast, but they can't use the same move once. They have to use different moves. So, she has multiple elements. She can do ice, fire, and lightning, but she can't use her moves multiple times. So you'd have to triple cast her fire, ice, and lightning move, or one of her non-elemental moves.
And
And
her
again,
non-elemental and her ice are both single targets.
yeah.
Eh.
So, I mean, ultimately, are any of these units on the Valkyrie profile extremely powerful? No, but they're, for the most part, they're TMs with the exception of Lenneth, who is kind of the nostalgia draw on the banner. The TMs are pretty good.
Well,
Any other thoughts on Freya?
I love
I
her
like her
sprite.
sprite.
Her sprite's amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the unit everybody's been waiting for, per se, which I
Yeah.
really don't
You
care
mean
for.
for his STMR?
Yep.
Arngrim, who
Arngrim.
is
I-
shocker, a bad unit.
Whoa!
But his
He's-
TM and his STMR are pretty good. His TM is called Starguard. It's a 40 attack accessory with 30% light resistance and has an ability called Starguard, which it gives you 10% physical evasion and chance to counter attacks 40% with a move that is now actually becoming familiar, a counter of 500% that is Divine Ruination Chaining. So,
If you
this
got
is actually
wishes-
better in global than it was in JP. Slightly better, but it is a little bit better. With the Halloween units, Lilith and Lucius,
They're
they
counters.
both counter with Divine Ruination Chaining. So you could potentially just throw this on another unit, and you'll end up every once in a while getting a little bit of free damage. That's actually not bad. Because
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody else has been over the last week and seen teams that have two Liliths or Lilith and a Lucius. If you do not kill them, they kill you.
Side note, real quick. It's only physical counters, not magical counters.
Yeah.
You know?
And then also what everybody is looking for on this banner for the most part is the
STMR.
vaunted STMR of Arngrim, Bahamut's Tier. It's a 165 attack lightning element greatsword. If that wasn't enough, it gives you a 30% increase to LB damage. So it is best in slot for Hio for a long time, and it's one of the best weapons in the game, even today in JP.
For great sword wise.
Yes.
We should talk
I didn't hear
about
you
this
mention it was two-handed.
STMR and this banner.
Yes.
It's-
But I mean, again, with the unit itself, it's a pretty weak unit that suffers from the same fate all the other ones do.
Yeah,
He doesn't really have anything good, even as
Yeah.
part of these units.
Yeah,
He's the
I mean,
weakest
but
unit
again-
of the three.
Yeah. He's got triple cast, but again, he can't cast the same skill twice or 3 times. It's just here you
they're
can cast a
funky.
His
bevy of
breaks are weak.
moves that, well, don't really do a whole lot for you.
Also, his breaks are extremely weak. He only can
Yep.
break defense and fire resistance.
Yep.
Unlike Lilith, who breaks 60% to light and dark and has 50% to all breaks.
Yep.
He, as a unit, is by far
Just
bad,
there for
at least.
TMR and
He's-
STMR.
He's just bad. Let's just put it at that.
He has a nice
You-
sprite though. I still prefer the Valkyrie profile, like the PS1 sprite though.
he still
But-
looks good though.
I mean, this unit 100% is for an STMR. That's it. That's all you want this guy for.
Now, let's talk about the banner. My God,
Well, yeah, my God.
Gumi
Gumi-
messed up.
Yeah, in a way, I also understand them not changing them because I think they know the problems, the gimmick from Valkyrie Profile that they tried to copy.
I think if
true.
they could have made the characters good or decent if they allowed you to cast the same skill with the gimmick.
It would
Yep.
make them a lot better. Yes, I agree.
Yep. Especially Freya and Lenneth.
Mm-hmm.
And Grim would still be bad, but
He's
that's
still
just
gonna
me.
be bad.
Yep.
We all
But I
know
mean, granted, most banners have that unit that's just not good.
it. Next month, Elfram.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Okay.
But for the banner as a whole, it's not a very good banner. The only thing that kind of saves it is the fact that it's a raid and that these TMs are all free if you pull the unit for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, they're not bad. I mean, even if
Yeah.
you look at Lenneth and you say, well, that's not a great a TMR, it's not bad. Dark swords are kind of
Mhm.
nice, actually, really. I mean, dark is
Yep.
becoming less of an issue as it used to be. Not
Yep,
everything
I
is
agree.
immune to it like it used to be, so.
Yep,
Look
it's
at Dark and go,
it's
yeah.
actually now light that seems to be the most
Resistant.
resistant. So
Yay! Blame
Again.
Divine Ruination. Okay.
But yeah, I mean this banner, the only reason you're gonna really want to pull on it is
Nostalgia or TMR?
yep, and I would
Don't
not.
expect to guess TMR if unless you're gonna wail.
Yep,
Yep.
unless you're
So-
prepared to go hard on the banner, and when I say hard, because Gumi has the banner is not the same as it was in JP, because in JP you could not pull off banner rainbows. So if you pulled a rainbow, you were getting a Valkyrie profile unit. In global, that's not the case.
Yep.
You can pull off banner units. So you also have to take that into consideration as well. So it's even going to be harder to get Arngrim's TMR or STMR.
Remember,
Now, what I
here's
can
what-
say
Okay.
is in JP now, for their anniversary, they got something called 100% Super Trust removal. That was just introduced over there.
Mm-hmm.
And also, JP has something called a mixer system, where you trade in your 100% TMR units for coins, and you can trade the coins in for different things, including the Awakening Prisms for units, which include
The Valkyrie Profile.
Arngrim. So you could potentially, if you wanted to, pull one Arngrim, use your mixer coins to get his prism, and then use the Super Trust Mastery to get his Super Trust Master. But again,
That's
we're
like a
not
year away.
guaranteed. We're not guaranteed that either way.
Agreed.
That's also would be a year away about.
Right. Well, yeah, 9 months, 9 to 10
And-
months.
And in reality, there are better STMRs that come out. It's just that this one is the best great sword for a while.
Yep.
Maybe when Hio decides to make his return on JP, that
With
STMR will
enhancements.
be. Yes, that STMR will be top tier again because of the increased limit burst damage. But right now, it's still very.
Lackluster.
I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not unless you
I
want to
agree.
drop way too much money on it. But
Mhm.
Keep in mind also, we got 4 step-ups here.
Yep.
We got the 25k step-up, which at the end comes with 1 guaranteed VP unit.
Yep.
Then each one of the banner rainbows, they have their own step-up. Pull on which one you want the most. As for you people that want your Arngrim and your Bahamut's tier, there's the Arngrim.
aren't those 11k?
Yes, those ones
Yes.
are
Okay.
11k.
And they're the same 11k as like Reagan,
Hio, Citra.
all the CG units. It's the same thing. So you've got the extra rate on the first pull, the extra rate on the third pull, and then the 5 times rate on the 5th pull. I think it's 5th pull, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So again, if you're looking for a unit and you maybe on the fence trying to go for, say, Arngrim's STMR, and you are okay with throwing 11,000 Lapis at his step up, and you get 2 or 3 of him, which can happen, it might be okay to keep pulling and trying to get another one. But again, you can pull off banners on this banner, so it is going to be very hard to get STMRs.
Just a recommendation. I would try to avoid the 25k one. Personal opinion.
I agree.
That is
I don't
very
think
expensive.
unless you're really willing to wail on this banner for Arngrim's STMR, or if you really like the units for whatever reason.
They look cool.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, just looking cool isn't really a great reason to pull for them. They have to have a use.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pull. I got my nostalgia fix on JP with these characters.
And
I mean, I'm gonna do the 11k step up for Freya because I kind of want that TM. But other than that, that's it.
me too.
I'm gonna try my luck for Freya. If I don't get her, I don't get her. I'm not gonna.
Which again,
throw
our
too much
polls
at
will
this
be
banner.
up. Our
Yep.
polls will be up on the channel.
Mine won't, because I'm not pulling this time.
Let's talk about the event. It's a raid.
It's
The
a raid.
usual. You go in, you get out.
Everybody, please do the raid. It's worth it.
It's worth it.
You get free gill snappers, cactars, moogles. You can get 4-star tickets. That's just from the raid summons. It's good rank experience. It's not something that I would just, you don't have to go hard on the raid, but don't just be like, I don't want to do the raid because I just don't want to do the raid. You're missing out on a lot
Free TMs.
if you don't do the raid.
Also, it's a great time to level up your characters if you have a couple that are lagging behind and you have a couple other strong characters
Mm-hmm.
to pull you through it.
Actually,
Yep.
speaking of which, there's actually a materia you could craft here, which can boost
Yeah,
your
there's
EXP.
actually a couple good equipments from this raid
Mm-hmm. There's a materia. It boosts your EXP that you gain.
by 10%.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't sound like a lot,
It's a lot.
but again,
Yeah,
it's free 10%. And if you go into, say, the experience dungeon, which they released the highest level, I think, that they have out right
It's
now.
out, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's elite.
That
It's
will help.
actually, if you go in there with a unit that has the anniversary rings, the anniversary materia we have gotten, if you have 9's TM action, you throw all that on your unit and you throw them into the experience dungeon, it's actually a significant boost. You can get like 500,000 per run.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then throwing the extra 10% on your other materia slots, it's more experience. It's way more efficient. It's actually, if depending on what you have for experience boosting items, it may be more efficient than running the cactar dunes.
Mm-hmm. It will. And then we got our materia version for this raid event of Libra, pretty much.
Yep, which is
Libra.
it's kind of like it's not amazing.
Unless
Okay,
you're going
it's
for that no
cheap
magic
to
mission.
make though. So if you're going for that, the
Yeah.
trophy for manufacturing stuff, drop them in.
Mm-hmm.
And
then the one of the good items here, the hat with 50% light resistance.
please
On top,
make it.
like it doesn't look that good, but it's 50% light resistance.
It's
make
made
it,
for your magic
'cause
tanks.
Not even just your magic tank. Anybody that you need to get extra light resistance for a battle on, it's really good. Anything that has resistance on it, I usually get it because you're gonna end up with going into a fight where you need a
I
certain
feel-
element resistance.
I feel like if it
And the
were like
more
Omega.
you have, the easier it's gonna be. That's pretty much same goes for the ring. The dark resistance for I think it's 30%.
Yes.
I would get that as well.
Then we got our casual every event. We got a spear.
Yep.
84 attack.
Not good.
um,
We've got
It's only good for new people if you
Mhm.
haven't gotten a spear already. It doesn't have any
Also-
yeah,
benefit.
like if you just started, because if you've been around for like 2 weeks,
2 weeks.
we've gotten better ones.
yeah. Mhm.
So, I mean, it's okay, I guess.
All right. Any more
But other
thoughts
than
on
that,
this
the
event?
the free TM in the raid points is Maximilian. I've seen a lot of people complain about it. I don't see a reason
It's
because
free.
it's free, and the unit that is a lot of the times most gear heavy is your tank. Because if you can't survive,
You can't
it
clear
doesn't matter
stuff.
how much damage you do. And anything
I
that
think
makes your tank more tanky is really good in my book.
I think people are just spoiled with the fact that the Grand Armor exists and it's basically Maximilian with HP.
Yep, and there really isn't that many good armor, so Maximilian's a good armor for your physical tank.
Any last opinions on this event? Last
Do the
thoughts?
raid, not the
Yep.
polls.
Yep.
And now we're gonna move on to what we got this week. The new Espers, 3-star Espers, 2-star Espers. We got a new boss today.
And the raid boss too. Well, not the raid boss.
King
the,
Mog.
the Halloween boss. Two
Zero.
Halloween bosses.
Take it away, Zero.
So yeah, hi guys. Yeah, we have two really good espers. I would say one Odin, who is known to have the best attack out of all the espers so far, and so far his battle is for some people a little bit challenging. But once you come in with certain units and gear and abilities, I don't see a problem that you can't take him on. You just have to be very aware of what he can and can't do. And in my case, my tips that I will share is it's basically for you to plan out your own strategies. All right, I'm not gonna tell you, hey, go in with this unit or this, particular type of trust master or TM. All right, the fun of the game is trying to figure it out. All right, what I would say about him is that because of your requirements of the achievements, you got to raise your LB and Esper gauge up quickly, or at least try to. So you may want to try to get some people or gear to do that, right, for you. Odin as well, he has a lot of health, but you're allowed to break his defense and spirit, right? And you should try to exploit it to maximize your damage output because you're gonna need to. And you once you cross his 40% threshold, he gets very, very dangerous. He basically he puts up a mitigation and he becomes a wall. And after 5 turns, he does an unrecoverable instant death to your party. Right? So you gotta watch your level of damage, exploit as much damage as you can on him where you can. Man Eater, he's a human, so put on killers, pull on as much elemental weakness. He's weak to lightning, right? And also he does some status ailments, so make sure and have some resistance on. All right, and soon you'll have that really great Esper on your party. The next is Pheonix. Now Pheonix is a much easier to obtain because unlike her 2-star form, her 3-star form is not that challenging as long as you have fire resistance. And at this point in the game, usually we have had a lot of materials and a lot of items, in particular from recent events, that we got a lot of fire resistance.
Yeah.
So as
Well,
long as you have fire resistance,
just to interject, fire is easy. I mean, you can throw Ifrit on your magic tank, and then you can craft the fire armor.
yeah,
and have
most
100%,
people
and you're
do
good.
have that.
Anybody can get to 100% pretty easily.
Yeah.
He doesn't imperil you, so there's no
Yeah, he
need to
doesn't
get more than 100.
imperil.
So
He doesn't have any kind of he's basically he the only thing that you have to remember though is at the start of the first turn of the fight, it's gonna heal itself, so it doesn't really matter what kind of damage you do. You could just hold off for the first turn or just prep your team. And for the next 9 turns after that, that's how long you're gonna have. And if you don't kill it within those 9 turns, it's gonna mitigate everything, and the following turn is gonna heal itself back completely to the start. Basically, you're gonna restart the battle again. So you're gonna have to try to, kill it within that time. But you can break all of its stats. So I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be a problem. It's also avian, so bird killers, stack them on. It also has elemental weaknesses, 2 elements, I believe. You can go ham on it, basically, right? And so the final battle that I'll be talking about is the one we got for Halloween. This is following the previous one, the event that we got, the King Mog event. So this is the trial that came along with it, and we have the what is his name?
The
Is it?
the
Yep.
great. It's like something like a vampire.
Yeah, the Great Count or something weird.
Yeah, the
Oh
great
yeah,
count. Yeah.
yeah, the Great Count. um, yeah, the challenge of the Great Count. Sorry, the Great Vampire Lord, right? He, we got a trial recently, Hasiko, and it's a bit similar, in that it drains all of your MP at the beginning of the battle. So you would have to be aware that there are some RNG elements, but not that much, right? Where there's a chance of him doing a bunch of attacks, but it's all the same kind of attacks. So as long as you know what attacks you're in for, you can manage your way around, right? And it's highly recommended that you have a supply of a unit or item, something that gives you MP recovery, right? And MP regeneration as well, right? He does some single target, unavoidable death, charming, and ailments. So, it can be prepared for by provoking, or even if you want to, you don't necessarily have to have a provoker,
Yep.
right?
And
If you can prepare for it.
the charm, Lakshmi has
Yeah.
charm resist.
Yep.
There
Lakshmi
are a
can.
few other units that can cure charm, but not very many. I think the one that comes to mind is Seaside Nicole.
Yep. Also, you
but-
can do AoE charming as well by like what's the dog Chow. Chow can also
Yep.
protect his charm.
Lilith can
Right.
also remove charm off of one unit.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Also, you also have to get an Esper, not killed, but you also have to get an Esper, evoke an Esper at some point in the battle. So anything that you can use to raise the Esper gauge quickly, get it, right? Also, one thing about him, his defense is really low. His defense is
Mhm.
so really low, so it's highly recommended that you use attack-based DPS units, damage units,
Yep,
right?
he is
And
very
exploit that
squishy.
defense. Yeah. Also, his attack and magic are not very high, so they don't damage much. But because of the nature of the battle, which drains your MP, it's advised that you should break it if the battle you think the battle is going to prolong for a while. All right.
Mhm.
Also, he's undead. He's a reaper, so use undead killers as much as you can. Also, it's really important to note that he under 50%, he has a chance of gaining health back, right? And as under when you get under 30%, it happens way more often. So he's gonna be really tough to try to kill after that point.
Yeah, I mean, except if you, I mean, the hard part in this battle is really getting the Esper
Yeah,
because he is when we say he's squishy, like he's one shotable squishy with a lot
yeah,
of different DPS units. So I don't think a lot of people are gonna have a hard time killing him. I think it's gonna be people are gonna have more of a hard time getting the Esper kill or the Esper evocation.
Well, me personally, I didn't have much problems with the Esper. My biggest problem was recovering from the MP at the beginning, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I
Right.
mean,
So once you recover, you're fine. All right.
from my own experience, it took me 17 turns to kill him because I it took me 17 turns to get.
For me, on the
The-
other hand,
the
it took
Esper.
me 63 turns. I was
So-
trying to kill him at the end, and I kept on getting him down to 1%, and he healed. Just also another thing to keep in mind, he does pierce death. So that means your safety bits and your Genji shields are not going to work here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
he-
useless. Don't bother equipping them. Just
He also does it. It's very, it's very important that you keep in mind that he has a counter ability that does that single target death attack, but it only happens every 3 turns, starting from turn 2. So if you don't watch what you're doing, you could end up, killing a member. It's not a problem if you have like, re-raise on the character or something, but you just got to know what what you're in for.
yeah.
All right, and that's it for that battle.
Yep. There's
Um,
one more boss. The Skeleton King from last year has returned. So anybody who had problems with him last year can get their revenge.
you want to
Also-
talk?
Um,
You want to talk
Is it-
about that, Kuja?
Yeah.
Because you did it.
It's not
Yeah,
so
I-
nightmarish now.
no, it's not so bad anymore. It's still difficult if you don't approach the fight the way you're supposed to. Because the main gimmick of the fight is the boss's attacks, well, his magic attacks, scale off his MP, not his magic stat. So breaking his magic stat doesn't do you any good. What you need to do is drain his MP. Because if you drain his MP, his magic attacks will literally do 1 damage to you. He has also AoE physical attacks, so it's recommended to bring a AoE physical tank and just tank the magic hits.
If you have a friend, Demon Rain, it'll make things a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just a side note, the nice thing about this year, about this event, is you don't need skeleton keys. You just go
Oh
into
yeah,
energy.
yeah. It's just 25
Yay.
energy.
Oh,
Last
thank
year it
God.
probably cost
Thank
you 4
God,
times
like-
the amount of energy to face that, if not more.
I started the game at that point last year, and it was really, a pain to try to get skeleton keys. So
Yep.
I'm really glad for that.
But I mean, the key is if you want to do the missions, bring a healer that uses ability-based healing, not white magic-based healing. You bring a couple DPS units that can chain with each other. Preferably, I found that if you bring attackers that can drain MP, that works better, especially for the first turn. You're gonna want an AoE physical tank, because if you drain his MP and keep him drained, because he will siphon MP off your team as well. So you might want to bring a MP battery as well. But as long as you can keep his MP drained, he's kind of a kitten. One of the problems when he first came out last year was the way his AI was. He was supposed to do all his attacks and then drain your MP. But when he first came out, he had the chance to drain your MP and then attack you. Meaning, you could have just drained all his MP last turn, but he sucks all your MP away, brings his MP back up to full or to whatever level, and then he'll smoke your party with magic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's still an issue this time around, but I mean, a lot of people have 7 stars, and he's not too difficult. I had to redo the fight because when I did it last year, I was only able to beat him with a 6-man party, and I had to use a healer with white magic because I just didn't have any healer that had ability-based healings. So when I did it this year, I went in, drained its MP. Second turn, did some attacks. I brought him to 30%, and then killed him on the third turn. He's not terribly difficult if you just know that his magic scales off his MP rather than his magic stat.
Well,
So
think that's all right. Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, the fight's pretty self-explanatory. It's much more doable this year than it was last year.
So next up is unit enhancements we got, which were Barbie and Barbarusia, Lucius Nicole, Grimlord Sakura, Brubicante, William, Chloe, Cognazzo, and a Pirate Jake.
Yep.
First off,
I-
give me your opinions
Jake.
on it.
Yeah. I mean,
Ooh.
yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Grimlord Sakura, so her enhancements are meh to me. Her when they increased her, I think it was her Soul Barrage. I mean, it gives it more damage.
It
She gets
takes more
her
MP.
passive's good, but I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of Grimlord Sakura, so they don't really interest me that much.
She doesn't end up chaining with Transterra's awakened abilities. They didn't increase any real damage modifiers on anything really that useful. She just kind of got a very lackluster boost.
Yep, she got more flat stats basically. So most of her new damage comes from her stats.
Which
And
you
it's
can
just-
go to her really high. I've
Yeah.
seen people up to 2100 right now on
Yeah,
magic,
I mean,
which is really hard to
and-
do.
Also, you have to realize she triple casts and Transterra quad casts. So even if she chained exactly with Awakened Chaos Wave, you're not chaining everything. Her optimal chaining partner is still herself.
Mm-hmm.
How long is your friends list going to be covered with Grimlord Sakura's? Thinking on that is probably not very.
One more week.
Yeah, or two, if people like her.
Then we got Barbie and Barbarusia here.
Barbie is actually really good though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hers are really good.
She gets
They
a
give
lot.
her a significant boost in damage.
Thankfully. The one we've been waiting for.
Illusionist Nicole.
Yeah. Here's...
Well, his are good. His are good. I mean, they basically enhance his breaks to be on par with breaks now, and they give his redirect a little bit more
defense.
oomph and tankiness, and it lasts an extra turn, which is nice.
Yeah, but the biggest problem is the mitigation is still atrocious.
It's atrocious, but I mean, again,
You're
can
probably
only
using
play
it
a
with an
tank.
evasion tank, yeah, but still, I was hoping that they'd bring it up to like 50% at least. And when I saw that they gave it a defense spirit buff, I was like, eh.
So,
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's okay.
yeah, they're alright. But then there's also Pirate Jake. He gets just a boost to his stats. He gets a little bit more damage.
Yeah,
a little bit
he
more.
chains with quick hits now,
Yeah, that is true.
which is, I guess, okay for 10-man trials. I guess. I mean, again,
There's still
Most people have a
Camille.
lightning or something else that matches it, so it's not.
so it's not horrible.
Then we got Cognazzo, which is our
Ho hum. His are just okay. Whatever.
yeah. He's mainly there just for this provoke lock.
Yeah, most of these are just filler 4-star enhancements for the and they're just whatever. They're not terribly amazing. I would probably not waste crystals on any of them. The only unit I would enhance personally is Barbarusia. The other ones are, I mean, if you like Grimlord Sakura and you're gonna use her, I guess you could enhance her. But again, I'm gonna just tell you, limited units, unless they are broken, tend to not stay around for a friend unit to come chain with. So it's going to be very hard to find Grimlord Sakura friends in a couple weeks.
I mean, the only other one I would probably do is I might do Illusions Nicole, and that's if you, for example, have a provoke tank that you really love. For example, we had Victor. Victor's a great tank, but sometimes you need a little bit of cover, so you can throw him in there. and you can give him a little bit more utility other than just casting
Yep.
tank everything to everyone all the time. So
Mhm.
you get a time off, so you can break and
Yep.
have him tank everything since he can double cast stuff.
Yeah.
So you can make
and-
him a lot more useful. So
mhm.
if you have plans on doing that, or
Yeah.
maybe you're making an evasion tank out of, I don't know, I've seen people do it with Chizuru because she has native 40 with enhancements.
Yep.
That's also very useful as
And
well. So
you know, Illusionist Nicole also doesn't just cast his AoE redirect. He can break at 50% attack and magic. That's pretty good. His his limit burst is also pretty good. It's a MP regen that is pretty good. I mean, it's good.
It's
and it gives
And
everyone in your party a chance to dodge.
yep.
well,
So he's
besides
not a
that,
wasted spot to you.
these enhancements, they're pretty lackluster, but they're there for
Yeah.
you guys. now, now the main thing that people are interested in for whenever they look at banners, the bundles.
Yeah. They're much better this week.
This
They're
first bundle we got was $25 USD. Um, it's 5,000 lapis, 5% Moogle, 20 King Metal Minotaurs, 10,000 raid coins, 10 energy restore pots, and 6 million gil, I believe it says. Or
no
600,000. Yeah.
600,000. It's a decent bundle. It is a better value than just buying the Vault of Lapis, so keep that in mind. You get
Question:
more. Yes.
Does the Lapis match up with it, or is it just is
No,
it
no,
a
the
combination?
Lapis. No, the Lapis does. The Lapis is more than you would get if you spent $25. Well, because basically the way I value these bundles, personally, is buy the Vault of Lapis, the $100 bundle. So if you were gonna buy a bundle, the best value you can get would be buying the $100 bundle. So if you take the amount of lapis you get from that bundle, divided by 100, you get your lapis per dollar.
Which is about
So
180, right?
right.
Yes.
So does the lapis per dollar get you more value buying the bundle or the vault? If you get more value buying the vault, the
Then-
bundle, I mean, unless there's other things in the bundle which increase its value, like tickets or very few other things do. So I mean, things that increase the value of the bundle for me is lapis, tickets,
and
the
certain
Moogle,
equipment.
and yeah, like some equipment and some materials, but those don't really increase its value that much. Things like the vouchers, that has 100 lapis value, so it's for me valued at 100 lapis.
Then
You can value your tickets at whatever you want, but if you look at the value of the bundle, if you're $25, you multiply that by 180, you're gonna end up with a better value looking at the bundle.
Yeah, it's
So
about
if you're
45
gonna spend
lapis.
to get these units, buying this bundle and the $6.99 US bundle is actually better than buying the vault.
yes, and the $6.99 bundle is
Yeah. So
1,500 lapis, 15 King Metal Minotaurs,
Yep.
3,000 raid coins, and 15 energy pots.
compare that to last week,
Oh,
Where-
gosh, they are so better.
the bundles weren't very good. They had tickets in them, but again,
It wasn't worth
you
it.
were either coming at below the value of the Vault of Lapis or literally breaking even. So at that point, it's buying either doesn't matter. I mean, if you're going to spend money anyway, buying the Vault or buying the bundles doesn't make a difference, in my opinion.
And any other thoughts on the bundles?
The
Now, I
Holland
mean,
the Holland bundle for $3.99 is not very good.
nope.
Oh, ugh. Well, let's say our final thoughts here of what we thought of this week. Underwhelming, on par.
Well,
I was expecting
unfortunate.
the same.
Let's just say that.
what was it?
Because, well, unfortunate for the fact that you can pull
Off
off
banners.
banners off these step ups in the banner. Um, I know the community's kind of pissed off about that, and yeah, I understand because it's hard to pull on a 5-star banner and get even 2 of the units that you want. So hopefully in the future they will see that the community is not happy with stuff like that, and they will change it for banners going on in the future.
Please, Xenogears, please, please, please.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say that I am pleased a little bit with the amount of stuff that we are getting at the moment. Like, for instance, I can
Yep.
see this being really beneficial to a lot of new users, especially since this the nightmare trial that we got from last year is back, and a lot of people, it was difficult for the time it was done, and I couldn't get a lot of those things. So I'm glad to get some of those things back. I'm kind of glad to get, the stuff that's out of the raid, out of the trial, um, even some of those TMs. Even though the units are bad, if somebody does happen to come across them, you get some nice things in there.
Like the 3-star base. That TMR is good for them. It's a 98
Yeah.
Spirit Rod.
The 4-star base is really
Oh.
really nice.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But doesn't come anything close to the obviously the the
That's
best in slot,
that's
the best in
definitely
slot.
a good thing that Gumi's doing right now is they're giving us plenty to do, especially this week. But I mean, they've been pretty good over the last couple months with giving us
Content.
quite a bit to do. So you can't complain about that. But what you can complain about is these limited banners that we're kind of getting the shaft compared to what JP did. Pulling off banner rainbows on limited banners is kind of
bad.
crappy. Yeah.
And any other things you guys gotta say?
That's about it. If you're gonna pull on, I mean, I would skip this banner unless you really like Valkyrie Profile and you want one of the units for nostalgia, or if you are willing to go and whale for Arngrim's STMR.
Or if you're just trying to make it easy to build a mage, go for Freya.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, again, you won't need more than 1 or 2 of her, and if you do her step up, you probably have a good shot at getting 1 or 2 of her anyway.
Alright, well, I think that's all.
Yep.
We'll be posting our polls throughout the week. We'll be putting up guides for the new Espers, the new bosses, and everything in the new.